Welcome back. Time to talk about giving hope for the, hopeless. Let's put it that way. We're talking about giving sight to people who, for one reason or the other, have lost the use of their eyes. And the Nigerian Society for the Blind, a voluntary, non-governmental and not-for-profit making organization, is 57 years this year, and it's been established in 1955 with the main objective of retraining and giving hope to the visually impaired, especially the adolescents in the country. And these are a class of people who, for sometimes not reasons of their own, go blind or lose their sight, and the organization is rehabilitating these people, and this can only be done with the support of philanthropists and corporate organizations. We have in the studio this morning members of the Nigeria Society for the Blind. Let me say welcome to the lady here, Mrs. Abiola Agbaje, the chairperson, Nigeria Society for the Blind. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And we also have Ashiwaju Fola Oshibo, who is the Vice Chairman, Nigerian Society for the Blind. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the society is not for profit.
That's right, yes.
And I say retraining. What other things do you do?
Well, basically, we try to ensure that we position visually impaired adult and adolescent in such a way that they can fend for themselves. They don't have to go around the streets, start begging. They can be on their own in whatever area they prefer. So what we do is to train them, one, basically to be able to move around unaided without anybody assisting them, to be able to do the basic things of life also on their own, despite the inability, despite the fact that they don't have sight. For instance, a new student will be taught how to move around the house, how to identify locations of things, chairs, tables, movement, all over. And also people to do some cooking, basic household activities. Then, of course, we train them on some aspect of educational improvement. We are not a curriculum-based institution like a secondary school, but we train them to be able to do a lot of things. Those who are interested in computing, for instance, we train them on how to operate the computer. Those who are interested in typewriting, we teach them how to operate the typewriter, and those who are in various other activities. And also people who would like to go into handicraft, tie and dye, basket weaving, all sorts of things. We train them there. So at the end of the period that they spend with us, then they can go out, either set up some businesses on their own, or if I go into other institutions to improve on their educational background.
Okay.
Okay, let me take the lead. According to Semini, you work with people who, through unfortunate circumstances, go blind.
Yes.
Now, what about the psychology? I mean, the processes they go through in their mindset with this predicament. How do you handle that?
Like my vice chairman said, these are people who have been sighted, living normal lives.
So it would have been like a shock.
It's a terrible trauma for them. So, first of all, it's getting them to even come to the center, where we have counselors who come to talk to them about life after sight loss.
So, sorry if I ask you this. So, those counselors, are they also blind? Are some of them?
Some of them are, because some of them are ex-trainees.
Okay.
Who have come through us and who are living normal lives and fending for themselves. So they see that it is possible to enjoy your life after sight loss. So the counselor comes and talks to them. Once they accept, acceptance is key, because if you don't accept your position, you can't go on. Once they accept, then the sky is the limit. They reintegrate, they learn, they become cheerful, and they're ready to face
So what happens if they don't? If there are those who do not accept? Because I know some it will take a longer time.
then the program is not so successful with them.
Have you had those kind of cases?
We have a few of them who would not do as well as they should because they're still fighting it. Because it means you have to relearn everything. You have to relearn how to read and write. Because you now have to read in Braille. It's a tough call, and some people just don't make it.
Okay, and the center, as in Oshodi, the vocational training center, has trained about 2,000.
Over 2,000 people in our 57 years of existence.
Okay, and I'm sure this is not just a tea party, it's something that comes with challenges.
Oh, very, very many challenges.
Let's talk about this.
Of course, the first challenge is financial. As we have said, we are totally voluntary. Everybody serving on the council is doing it because they want to see a betterment. Everything we have achieved in Oshodi and through the society is through begging. There's no other word to put it.
Begging.
We're constantly begging corporate bodies, individuals, anybody who can give us money, products, buildings, and over the years we've had fantastic people who have helped us. Late MQ Abiola actually built a house on the center, Inlax, the old Inlax, Chan Rai, all of them came to our aid. We still have people who are helping us now, British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, many of the banks, Shell, Snepco.
So you have people coming up.
People. But because special education is just that, it's special, it's very, very financially consuming. We need more and more and more. And because we run a residential program, it's residential, we are heavily subsidizing what they pay, because we find out that many of them cannot pay for just 50,000 per annum.
It's not free.
It's not free for them, but heavily subsidized by us.
Okay, so the 50,000 is not subsidized. That's the amount.
That's the amount they pay.
But it costs more than that.
For per annum. Okay, per annum for everything. And as we said, the cost of feeding one student alone comes to 60-something thousand a year, and we're charging 50,000 to house, to feed, to teach, to take them around,
to provide some aids.
To provide aids.
How long do these students stay in residency before it's okay, they're ready to move?
We have a maximum period of 2 years. Some, like I said, have come in, lawyers, bankers, clergymen, who suddenly lose their sight. So what they want to do is get back on track as quickly as possible. So they come in for the fast track 1-year program, learn to read and write Braille, do your stuff on the computer, learn to move around, and they're back to their businesses. Those who are not so academically inclined can spend up to 2 years. They do the academics and they also do the vocations. I always say it, I'm wearing one of the products of our students because we teach them how to make tie and dye bags, cane chairs and stuff like that, so they can go out and actually fend for themselves.
Okay. And one would think that, you know, looking at what she's wearing, you're like, can this be possible?
Oh yes, of course. In fact, if you go to our center, you will be amazed the type of things that they do. I'll tell you, at the last International Trade Fair, we exhibited some of the products made by our students and some of our ex-students. And what we did was to take the students along and show people how they make all these products. It was so interesting. We had some people who came in there, stood there, watched them at work, and they started shedding tears. Because it's unbelievable that people without sight, they can make cane chairs, they can make tie and dye, they can make slippers for people to wear, all sorts of things. It's amazing. But it takes, and like she said, once you overcome the initial shock that you've lost your sight and you resign yourself to it, then you start developing all the senses and you find that a blind person can do a lot In fact, some of them better than what we cited can do.
So disability is not inability.
It is
That's
not,
right.
certainly
That's
not.
right. Disability. If I would say that a lot of ability in disability, it's so interesting, but it takes some training. You know, a man who has sight, who could see clearly before, and suddenly he's lost his sight. The shock is there, but after getting over the shock, you now discover that they can do a lot more. They may not be able to read the way we read, but with Braille, we teach them how to read Braille, how to also write Braille. With Braille, they can read.
Okay.
And they can
Okay,
read.
I was going to ask, but maybe I'll bring it back here. There's a school of thought that believes that disability is actually distributed ability.
Okay.
But the question now is, you deal with those who were sighted and lost it. What happened to those who, I'm sure some parents would have thought about, I have a child or I have a ward who was born blind. What happens to them? Can you accommodate this?
The society was actually founded because there was a gap recognized that there are people who cater for those blind from birth. We have the Pacelli School for the Blind and so on and so forth. They take them from nursery, upwards.
Okay.
But there was this niche
Okay.
of people who had already been able to see and suddenly lose sight. That is why we decided to concentrate. And we found out that a lot of them were depressed. They just sat down at home. Their families shut the door on them. A lot of them were begging. That is why in 1957, these compassionate Nigerians decided to form this society to cater for this segment.
The goals you tend to achieve, are they your goals, or do you ask the students what they want to achieve?
Well, we have a set of parameters we would like to fulfill. But always with that, you also have to key in to the person's ability. So like I said, when they come in, you have to assess them. I might want to be an astronaut. I don't have the ability. So we try to gauge and tailor what they can do to what their abilities are.
Okay. Okay, now let's go back to the issue of funding, which you say you rely on philanthropists, corporate organizations. If they don't come, what else do you do to raise funds?
Okay. We have different activities throughout the year that are our own efforts to raise the funds. We have a yearly program. We key them in at certain times of the year. And this year, of course, is the month of May, where we have our main one, which you call the May Ball. It's a dinner and dance, and we use it for various reasons. First of all, it's an evening of fun. We want to thank those who have supported us. We want to raise funds, of course, because the May Ball is where we raise the most funds for running the center throughout the year. We want to showcase our students, and of course, we want to publicize the society. The May Ball is one. We have other activities throughout the year. We have a White Cane Day in August, which we use as public enlightenment. Our students go on the road with their white canes. People ask, who are these? We explain to them. They explain to them, we're blind. Our white cane is for this and for that. This is how we can help us and treat us. We go around churches at Christmas. We do carol services. Our students have beautiful voices, as you said. When one ability goes, another compensates. We do that. Of course, we come to our school. We have sports day. It's a school, classes and everything. So we have sports days. It's amazing. Come and watch our students at sports.
These events you lined up all this. Have they been effective?
Well, I would say yes, they have been effective, but as she said earlier on, not enough. All these various activities that we, run throughout the year, we raise money, but when you look at the amount of money required to run the center, apart from feeding the students, we have all our instructors, we have our teachers. We pay to our staff about 2.5 million every month as salaries alone, without maintenance, without all other expenses that we incur. And so we need money on a regular basis. But those activities do assist, in covering some of these expenses that we go through. The White Cane Day has been very good. The May Ball that is coming up on Saturday is also a major fundraising activity that we organize every year.
Is it open to members of the public?
Yes, of course.
It is open,
yes,
but
it is open, but you
event. It's a fundraiser, so I'm sorry, we have to sell tickets because we want to raise funds. But we do want members of public to come, have a good time, see what our students
Where is the venue now?
It's Muson Center, 26th of May, 6 p.m.
Okay. What happens at that event, the May Ball? What do you do there? What are the things, and who does all this thing?
Well, basically it's dinner and dance kind of thing. People come in, like you go to any dinner and dance, and we
have music. Do your students play the music?
We have our students who provide the music, although we have other external provision for music, but our students are there to demonstrate what they're capable of doing. They provide music, we provide food, of course, we provide drink. It's a fun, it's an evening for fun. People enjoy it, but we ask people to come, and once they see some of the things that we do, they willingly assist, they help, they provide some fun. And that's why we sell invitation cards.
And if I can add to, I must tell people that we get support. A lot of organizations have supported us even for our May Ball. So it's a way of saying thank you to them and hoping others will see and also join the bandwagon.
Okay, it just crossed my mind now that aside from giving trainings to people that are visually impaired, do you do maybe educational things that educate the public on how to prevent in areas that you can't prevent blindness?
We do. We have public enlightenment seminars and conferences, and we also work closely with the Ophthalmological Society of Nigeria and the Eye Bank for Restoration of Sight Nigeria in restoring sight for those people whose sight can be restored. Not all blindness is irreversible. Some can be reversed, especially if all you need is a cornea graft, a transplant. So we work with them to tell people what to do and ask people to please come forward, donate, be an organ donor. It's something we don't do very much on this side of the world. We are very suspicious. We think we need our eyes in heaven, or when we're coming back, we need the eyes. It is not true. So we ask people to be organ donors. In 2010, in collaboration with the Eye Bank, we had the first Nigerian to Nigerian cornea transplant. A man had left instructions that when he died, his corneas should be harvested. And to the glory of God and to his family, they allowed it to happen. This must take place between 18 hours immediately after a person dies. And his two corneas have given sight to two people. Because they never use both corneas on the same person, because you only need one eye really to see. So two Nigerians are walking around sighted because one man donated his cornea.
So what if an individual wants to donate now? What should he or she do?
You should put it in your will. Just yesterday at our AGM, we were discussing, we're in talks, the Ophthalmological Society is in talks with the Federal Road Safety Corps, our driving licenses, as they do in other parts of the world. This person is an organ donor. Once that thing happens, all these accidents, they know immediately what to do. Quickly get the person to a hospital, quickly make sure those things that he wants donated are put in a conducive medium so that they can be used. Otherwise, it is public enlightenment like this, asking people not to be afraid and become organ donors.
Because people, so like, I'm going to give out this, but of course the person is already late. So
in actual fact, it was explained yesterday, when you harvest the cornea, hardly can you see that anything has happened, because the main eyeball is still there. Everything, the cornea is the transparent one there, and once you just remove that, nobody sees. There's basically no physical change. I mean,
your beloved's
if you remove the cornea from a dead person and you go there to look at it, you wouldn't even notice that anything has been removed.
Is there anything that can be donated from the eye? Is it just the cornea alone that can be donated?
That's what's useful.
That's
what's useful.
Yes, that's the one, because the others deteriorate fast.
Yeah.
But the cornea.
You said, okay, if you know, we come up with something that can be like a sticker, you know, on the car, and if anything
or
happens,
your driver's license.
okay.
Yes. And in addition,
is there any hospital that you know can do this?
Well, in addition to the car or the license, then the iBank has developed a form now. You can just complete that form that yes, you are willing to donate your cornea when you pass on, and all the details will be taken, and that will be in the record. And then, of course, you're advised to indicate it in your will as well, so that the family will know that you have volunteered and that your cornea should be harvested at the time you pass on. So it's been developed, and gradually it will get to a stage that when you carry your driving license, you know, with you, or probably even your identity card, maybe we'll get to that stage. People will know that, oh, this fellow had early on volunteered to have his or her cornea harvested at death.
And as I said earlier, is it any hospital that you can harvest this cornea?
Yes, Ikeja General Hospital. That is where the iBank for Nigeria Restoration of Sight is situated. They actually have an eye bank where these corneas are kept under optimal conditions, so that they are ready to be transplanted. So it's not as if they won't have anywhere to keep them. There's already a place where you can go. We source these corneas now from India and the USA. So when they come in, they are kept there and they are used.
So as we speak now, any Nigerian can just get up, go to the bank and say, I want to be a part of this. Any Nigerian from any walk of life.
We are encouraging
And
Nigerian.
age is not a problem.
Age is not a problem.
Not
Once you can be 80, someone was asking a question, if I'm short-sighted or long-sighted, can I still donate my corneas? And the answer is, once you can see, it's just a clear thing. Once it's not cloudy, you can donate your cornea.
Thank you so much for coming on Fundraising today. Thank you. We've been speaking with the Chairperson, Nigerian Society for the Blind, Mrs. Abiola Agbaje, and the Vice Chairman, Nigerian Society for the Blind, Ashiwaju Fola Oshibo. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to us.
Thanks.